Well, hello there, Minecrafters. Thanks for coming by. We're back in the Creative Control series. That is the map making series in the world of Minecraft for map makers by a map maker. And thank you so much, guys, for your excellent feedback of episode 1. If you haven't seen episode 1, go check it out. It's all about world spawn and where the players will start versus where we want them to start. Avoid using a ceiling where they're going to start because it'll mess up everything. Check out that episode if you haven't. But if you did, hopefully you got some good information out of it. But I did want to just recap, or not recap, I wanted to go over a few comments. I'll probably do this every episode, just go over a few comments that were put in the comments from the last episode. So Star Wars Wii had mentioned a bunch of things about clocks and things like that, but also mentioned that we don't really need a platform because the clock's going to run. We're going to get teleported where we want to go. But I did want to say that we do need some sort of platform, and that is because of this right here. If you can read this, turn on command blocks on your server. So if you're not a map maker, welcome. We all started from knowing absolutely nothing about command blocks. But if you're not a map maker, you won't know about this. If you are, you will. There is a file with a Minecraft server called the server.properties. It's basically the rules of what is and is not allowed in a Minecraft server. And one of the rules by default is command blocks do not activate. I don't know why by default it's not activate. So that means that if the player doesn't activate them, none of these teleport commands will work. And they're basically stuck here not doing anything, and they think your map is broken. They have with mine. So it's always a good idea to have a sign here that can tell them. Keep in mind, your map may be the first map that somebody's ever played on a server, and you've got to make precautions for that. So that's why I say we need a platform with a sign that says something like that. I forgot to mention that last time. Another comment by Nate T. Bird said it's a really good idea to put your world spawn way far away from your map. I agree with that. I think for loading purposes, in Diversity 2, it's like 600 blocks or so away from the rest of the map, away from the hub. But yeah, that's a really good idea. Anyway, on to episode 2, guys. And before I say that, I should actually say I'm by no means the greatest map maker out there. I don't claim to be. Not the greatest command blocker or redstoner. I just love sharing information, and if I can even just give you a bit of info that you didn't know, then job well done. That's the whole point of this. Let's share information, have a vat of knowledge in the comments here, so we can just grow as map makers in the community. So we're going to go on with game rules. I think that's the next logical step. This will be a refresher for those who are familiar with them. There are some new ones, but I'm going to go through all of them that are so far in the latest snapshot. 14W30C is what I'm playing on. If you are not sure what a snapshot is, basically a testing version of Minecraft that Mojang puts out in between releases. So right now 1.7 is what a lot of people, probably the most people are playing with, but map makers are all playing with the new versions with all the fun little toys we get to play with. So starting off here, game rules. What is a game rule? Game rule. There we go. / game rule. Press space, tab, we go through all of them. It's basically the rules that affect the actual world file or the save file of Minecraft that you're playing in. So it won't affect any other save file. It's specific to whatever world it's in. And I've got them all here. We're going to go through all of them. Hopefully the video won't be too long. But the first one here, we have the command block output on the D means default. So all of them have, when you load up a world, what it's going to be. On default, it's true. And down here, I've got it set up to true and false here. And the lever up means it's false. So the first one here is the command block. So if I do game rule, command block output. Also, if you press enter, so if I do game rule, and whatever it is, tab, press enter, it'll tell me what it's currently set to. So it's set to true. What that is first of all, this is kind of like the most important one, in my opinion, one of the most important ones. If you're a map maker, there's absolutely no reason ever, no reason ever to have that set on true when you release a map. Do not ever let me catch you releasing a map with that set on true. Look at this is how bad it is. If you have a clock, I'm just going to set block this clock. Set block clock. Clay. I'm going to go one up here. So that's basically setting a clay block one above this command block relative to that whatever the command's being placed. And then I set block a redstone block below it, so -1 redstone block, and I have the command block output set to true. It's going to anything that this command pops off. Look at how completely ugly this is. This is disgusting. Look at don't ever release a map. See, even if I do a teleport command here. TP at P. Let's go 10 blocks higher. So relative to the command block, none on the X or the Z axis. Just on the Y, up and down. I'm going to go high. High in the sky, 10 blocks high. Oh, it didn't get updated. Well, you can see here. I'll show you. Any command that gets placed. Yeah, it puts it in the chat. Puts it in the chat. I'm not sure what happened with the TP there, but don't ever release a map with that on true. I've played so many maps with that on true. It's absolutely disgusting. It looks gross. It just takes away from the experience. And that's the whole point of this map series, is give them the best experience they can have. So, rule number 1, most important in command blocks, put command block output on false. Okay, doDaylightCycle, it looks like this, all capitals on the D and the C. Basically what it does is it stops the sun from moving. You can still change the time. So if I time set 18, there we go. I can still change the sun even though it's on false right now. It's on false. It doesn't move. But that's really important for especially recorders like YouTubers. Give them light. That's really important. Even if you have to change the mood of your map, give them light. That's essentially when you make a map, you want people to see it. You want YouTubers to record it. I don't know why you wouldn't want them to record it, but give them the light to actually present the best possible scene that they can and keep the daylight going. Now, you may want to change that depending on what you want to do in the map, and you might even want to change it on the fly. Like in Diversity, the survival branch, it flips to letting the sun move so that we can naturally go through that. But for most cases, I would, even like if you're doing like a horror map or something, you want eternal darkness, I would keep it on false. I recommend that. What you want to do. Okay, doFireTick, true or false? That is the question. So it's the fire spread rule. Basically, with it on, fire is going to spread. With it off, fire is not going to spread. I actually typically leave it on, and the reason for that is, let's turn it off here. So by default, D means default. It's on true in a Minecraft world. I'm going to turn it off. It's on false right now. And I'm going to get a flint and steel. And I'm just going to light a block up. This block will never go out. The fire will never go out. And in adventure mode, there is no way to actually put it out. So it really depends on what you want to do. With it on, there is a chance it could burn your building, unfortunately. So, you better make sure there's no blazes or fire charges in your map, or anyway, like if lightning strikes, you're in trouble, because with it off, there's no way it's going to go out. That's what I don't like about it. But it's up to you. You've got to be careful with it. You got to decide what is the best way of this map. Should I leave it on? Should I leave it off? I recommend leaving FireTick on so fire goes out. But you make that call with your map. Okay, MobLoot. Here we go. This is basically the drops from whatever mob. So if I get a, let's summon a cow. If I have a cow and I'm going to give myself a, give that P diamond sword. I'm going to kill this, and I have the, by default it's on true. Lever means it's up true. I'm going to kill him. Let's see. I have his loot, and also, there we go. We have XP. So it depends on what you want to do. If for example, in diversity, the arena. I'm surprised it's yellow wool. The arena, yellow wool for arena. I didn't want any XP given out, so I turned it off. And then when you kill a cow or anything, any mob, he won't drop anything, even XP. So it really depends on what you want to do with your map. Obviously, you can't get food if you don't. You'll have to figure out what you want to do for your map. Okay, mob spawning. Now, mob spawning, I'm going to give myself a mob spawner, and I'm going to launch this mob spawner. Now, if I put mob spawning here on false, so it is on false, do mob spawning false, it still doesn't affect, you'll see, when I put a pigs need grass, okay. There we go. So we can still spawn any type of mob, hostile or peaceful or whatever, hostile or passive mob, from a mob spawner. Even if the rule is off, it just eliminates natural spawning, which is great to eliminate stupid bats. Again, that depends on what you want to do with your map. You may want it so that you only are spawning mobs with spawners or summon. Summon commands work as well. It's up to you. You've got to decide that, whether that's important to you or not. But it eliminates natural spawning. It also, keep in mind, server properties are not affected on this. So even if you have natural spawning, but you are not allowing like NPCs to spawn, the server properties override these commands. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't the case, and hopefully they change it. But for now, we're stuck with that. So be careful for people running servers. They may not know that. Okay, do tile drops true or false? So a tile drop, basically, if I'm in survival mode, game mode, I can actually get a drop. So if I keep it on true, here is a tile drop. I've got that block. If it's on false, if I turn on false, is that it? Yeah, tile drops true. Nothing given to you. So it really depends on what you want to do in your map. A survival map, obviously you want drops. Maybe you don't want it in like a puzzle map. You don't want to give them any drops. I don't know. It really depends on what you want to use. Okay, on to keep inventory. By default, it is false. Every adventure map I can think of, I'm going to just set my spawn here, has game rule keep inventory on true. So I'm going to turn it's on. Okay, let's just turn it on true. So if I die, I keep my items. Really important in adventure maps, because if you were holding some sort of key for a door, you don't want to lose that when you land in some lava or something like that. So if it's on false, which is default, then I lose all my stuff. So when you're making your map, remember, you have to set these. If they're not on default, you have to set them. If you want to keep inventory true, you can't just release your map. You have to put it on true. Okay, logAdminCommands. That the game rule looks like. Oh, I'm in survival. Game rule looks like this. Log, capital A, C, and I don't really see any purpose to having it set on true. By default, it is true. Set it on false when you release. It really is just something for debugging. If you have something running, like a clock running that you're not aware of in the background, it happens actually in the Minecraft console, which is the extra screen that can pop up on a server, or even if you have it set on single player. Kind of some back-end stuff. I would recommend putting it on false when you release the map, because it does eliminate some lag, some server lag. If you have it on false, it's not constantly updating. All right, mob griefing is an awesome rule that came out in. Let's just summon a creeper. I'm in a creeper. Now, if you played older Minecraft maps, they would always say something like, make sure you play on peaceful or creepers will blow up. So by default, I have mob griefing on true. And let's just light this guy on fire. And he is going to... Oh, he destroyed our map! This is also the case with withers, ender dragons, any type of mob. I'm not entirely sure if... Let me know. Does it affect endermen from stealing your blocks? I don't know if it follows the same rules. So with mob griefing, I pretty much always keep it on unless I'm doing a survival map. If I summon a... I guess I could have creeper. There he is. And if I light him on fire, the game rule off. See, there's absolutely no damage from any mobs. So even the Ender Dragon, he can't destroy anything. He will go through blocks, but he can't destroy them. And that's typically what you want. You don't want the player to have to, go through. Unless it's a CTM, I guess. You don't want to have to blow up your beautifully built houses and things. Okay, on to natural regen. It's on default true. I think this rule was made for the guys from Minecraft because it's basically UHC stuff. So if I summon another creeper and I go to survival mode, he's going to try to blow me up. And I have it on false. On false right now. You'll see my hearts do not, doesn't matter how much food I eat, my hearts do not go up. Even on peaceful, I don't... Is it on peaceful? Even on peaceful, there's no way it'll go up. So that's basically something used with caution. I don't recommend it for hardly any maps, but with a UHC, it's probably what you want. Not to, and the other thing is with regeneration, golden apples, it'll still override that. So you can potions or golden apples, you can still get, even if it's off, you can still get hearts back. But yeah, that's that one. Random tick speed is pretty interesting. I don't really even know why. I actually don't see much use for it. But if I get a grass block here, and I get, let's get a sapling. Game mode C. Let's get a sapling, and let's just put an oak sapling. So I've got this set. It's actually not a true or false. Default is 3. That's the game speed. So if you go lower, you could actually, I think if you go to 0, there will be no updates. But I've got it set to like, I can go all the way to like 6,000. You'll see when I look at the fire there. These are all block updates. And it's very, very fast. Very fast. And if you break, there we go. And look at how fast the leaves break. So I'm not sure why you'd want to change it, but it's all to do with block updates, planting things, harvesting wheat, whatever it is. You can go really fast or no updates. I don't know. I'm not sure why that's even a game rule, but there it is. Okay, this is the reduced, what's it called? Reduced debug info. It's kind of a weird, I don't really know why you'd want this, but by default it's on false. If I put it on true, you'll see basically it kind of just puts us a little more immersed into the map. We don't have coordinates. You could use it like if you wanted to not let the player know where they were. Also, it kind of hides a bit of the debugging there. Yeah, I don't really know why you'd use that, but maybe you have a use for it. Keep it on there. Okay, command, this is a new one. This is pretty interesting. Send command feedback, it looks like that. And how that works, I'm just going to set my spawn right here. By default is on true. So if I kill myself, you'll see, fellow, killed Q magnet. Here we go. If I set it off there, there, it doesn't actually say what happened. So the other thing it can do is if I have it on false and I want to hide the fact that I'm changing the player's game mode to like adventure behind their back, don't know. They don't know. That never told me that I changed my game mode. So basically it kind of works like the command block output, but it hides the white stuff, the white text, most of the white text except for death messages, which we'll talk about next. But yeah, you might want to hide it. I typically leave it on. just because I want the player to actually know that the game mode's being updated. Just depends on what you want to do. It hides that other stuff. There's some, I think there's, like if you click a tell command, it changes there. I can't exactly remember. But again, that all depends on what you want to do in your map. So finally, the death messages. This is show death messages. It looks like that. False. If we, kind of self-explanatory. If I turn on, by default it's true. If I turn on false and I kill myself, there we go. It doesn't say I fell into the void. If I do that and I kill myself, and there you go. It doesn't, let's just type something in so you can see that before. TT is my last, I kill myself. There's absolutely no message. So if I summon a creeper, oh, I'm on difficulty in. So summon a creeper. Where are you? And then I change my game mode to S, and he blows me up. There's no message there, nothing there. Nothing to tell me anything changed because I have the command block feedback off and death messages off. And you might want to actually hide the fact that you're killing them by something else. Like you can use creepers to add blow up effects. TNT's pretty dangerous, but a creeper you can control pretty good with a short fuse. And hide the fact that it's an actual creeper and make the player think that something else happened. So yeah, that can be a pretty decent thing to take advantage of. That is a fairly new one, but that is basically all the that is all the game rules. Hopefully you got some information that you can use. Next episode, I want to talk more about seamlessly hiding commands so the player gets a better experience. But anything you guys want to talk about, put it in the comments. I welcome everything in there, even if we have a difference of opinion. I think discussion is definitely the most important thing about that. But thanks, guys, so much for watching. We'll see you next time on the Creative Control series. Enjoy your Minecrafting.